The room was filled with clinking glasses and laughter as Clara took the stage at my promotion party, a sparkling glass of champagne in hand. She smiled at my husband, the same charming smile that once made me feel special but now felt like a distant memory. In that moment, I saw the cruel twist behind her facade. Though the evening was supposed to be a celebration of my success, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was the punchline of a joke that wasn't funny at all. People often say the best way to get back at someone is to achieve even more, but no one tells you how hollow that victory feels when the person you once trusted and loved doesn't believe in you. For the past decade, I had built everything I owned from scratch. My real estate business had grown against all odds, turning failures into stepping stones. Yet Clara, my wife, always seemed to focus on the cracks in the foundation rather than the triumphs we had built together. She was stunning, ambitious, and captivating, qualities that once drew me to her. But over time, her confidence shifted from something that made me feel proud to something that made me feel insignificant. Our love story started in college, when we were inseparable. She had this magnetic presence, effortlessly commanding attention in any room. But as the years passed, I began to feel like I was nothing more than a shadow beside her. Her subtle insults, at first hidden behind compliments, grew louder and sharper, and they stung more than I could ever admit. The party at the downtown Hilton, designed to honor my hard work, soon became the stage for Clara's performance. She had carefully orchestrated everything: the suit, the location, the speech. But as I listened to her words, I realized it wasn't about celebrating my success. It was all about her and about making me feel small. The laughter around me felt like nails in a coffin, and I tried to smile, though my hand trembled around my glass. Later, on the quiet drive home, Clara scrolled through her phone, her lips curling into a smile that made my stomach churn. When I confronted her, her response was cold, dismissing my feelings as if I were overreacting. "It was just a joke," she said, but I knew better. The sting of her words was far deeper than any joke could be. Days passed, and the weight of her betrayal began to sink in. It started with a text message that wasn't meant for me, and from there things spiraled. Late-night phone calls, secretive trips, and the unmistakable feeling that something was off. One evening, I followed her and caught her laughing with a man in a dimly lit restaurant. The knot in my stomach tightened as I realized the truth. She had been unfaithful. The days that followed were filled with shocking discoveries. I uncovered financial records that exposed hidden accounts and payments made under her name, all while her affair with Richard, a mid-level executive from her company, grew more evident. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, and I couldn't ignore them anymore. Took action. I consulted with my lawyer, revised my will, and set up a trust that only I could access. I installed cameras around the house to record her secret phone calls. The final blow came when I discovered a video of her and Richard discussing their plan to drain my accounts and leave me with nothing. I wasn't the loser she thought I was. I was playing the long game. Despite everything, Clara invited me to a dinner party 2 weeks later. She used her charm to captivate the guests, but I had a plan of my own. When dessert was served, I stood up, clinking my glass to get their attention. I raised a toast to Clara, acknowledging her hard work and creativity. But then I pressed a button on the remote, and the room fell silent as the video of her betrayal played across the wall. The gasps around me were deafening, but I didn't flinch. Clara, in a desperate attempt to stop the truth from coming out, reached for the remote, but I stopped her. "Please sit down," I said, my voice steady. "It's time you see who the real loser is." Her face turned pale as I revealed the divorce papers, the trust, and the prenup that ensured she wouldn't walk away with anything. The room was silent as the truth settled in. Her lover was fired after I sent an anonymous tip to HR, exposing their affair. Clara's life began to unravel as she lost everything. Her job, her friends, her reputation. But I had already moved on. I sold the house we once shared and found peace in the new life I had created. It wasn't easy, but it was freeing. I wasn't a loser. I was a man who had been betrayed, but had emerged stronger and wiser. As I sat in my new apartment, gazing out at the city lights, I realized that I had won. Not because I had gotten revenge, but because I had walked away with my dignity intact.